Today's subject is about fairies and the contemporary interpretation. Okay? Today, right, what do you think a fairy is? Right? Do you think they're like 3 and 6 inches little sprightly things that run about? Has been no, they reckon. Right? I don't dismiss it. I've never seen one like that. But do you know what contemporary in human form is? Right? This system, government, order, is a fairy because it's a subterranean system, right? And it's been buried under the world, right? It's a fourth class Kali Yuga, and what we should be living in is the Kriti Yuga. This is a perverse reflection of the truth dominating over humanity. Slavery for 48 weeks. You get a 4-week holiday, right? That's the governmental level, right? Because it lost to the Kriti Yuga, the golden age predominates. What happens is basically because it goes in the underground, just like the Dharmavarians who sided with the Kurus 5,000 years ago and lost against the Pandus of Lord Krishna, God. And so they was left or extradited out of India, went across northern Europe and wherever they went, and ended up, as we know, a lot of them in Ireland, now known as the Tuatha. So they're called the Dharmavarians. And when they eventually lost out to Milesians, they were basically putting the fairy thoughts underground, right? You get the connection between losing underground state systems of Kali Yuga we're in now, right? And that's fairy, and the impersonal effluence of God is this impersonal age of atheistic religion known as Kali Yuga, as a Kali as a religion and its state economy, right? And so what it is that is the fairy state system. It's underground, you see. And the impersonal effluence, as I talk about, the Brahmayoti is what it's known as, is spiritual suicide. It's a false light of a life desire of institutionalised, like conditioned ideas that this government and churches condition and tricked you into wanting to have: being married, having mortgage, taking their mortgages, taking their medication, I should say. All these things. That is what the Brahmayoti, the underground system of fairies is. It's a fairy tale. Right? It's that which is false. It's Maya Vardi, you see. It's reincarnative. It keeps you in samsara. Because it starts off basically in the condition of the samskara of your conscious mind and you wanting these things and all the corruption people will do to each other to get harmless or theft, being things they do. Adultery, being married even if you're good. I mean, you know, even if you're a good person, you won't resurrect, but at least you've been a good person. But, you know, the other's the dark side of sex. Got darker and darker and darker, and adultery, vice and rape. See, paedophilia and all that. So it gets darker, and all these fairies do all these things to each other. Because most of the fairies are bloody like narcissistic. You see, it's a personality. They all think they're God's gift. They're full of like narcissism. You see, and then you've got a whole load of people that all think like that. You've got a lot of fucking trouble. You know, social living trouble. It ain't too good. That is to me what a fairy is. You see, simple terms into contemporary interpretation. See, not like angel, man or woman, a devotee or bhakti of Lord Vishnu. See, headed by the presiding son of Jesus Christ, not the church Jesus Christ, but the Jesus Christ. See, there's a church again, it's a deceitful fairy in itself. You see, it's another fiction. Right? It's a false light, it's Brahmayoti. So it looks like a light, but really it's a chopping blade of contract. See, a false vector. It's the great trick, fairy lights. You know what I mean? They're not real. No, it's not good for you. You think it is, but it ain't. In the long term and in the short term of your life, you know. People may argue here and there, well, I'm having a good married life, good luck to you. I'm not knocking you completely for being married. I'm not an arsehole like that. If you're happy in your marriage, good luck to you. I don't believe in marriage myself, right? And I believe there's happy marriages. and right, but not everybody is. You know, everyone jumps like, oh, I'm that person who goes, how many people really are? How many people pull off their mortgages? Death grip, that's what it means. Not many. You know, and pull it off to the end of their life and say that was a really good life as a married man in my mortgage, or woman, princess and prince. Yeah, doesn't work out for most people. It's a false desire. It's a deception over nature. Only a few people pull that off. See what I mean? It's fairy tales, fairy tale endings. You don't want fairy tales, you want angel ways of the bhakti yoga between the human devotees. You know? It's the underlord Shiva, all the ghosts and the fairies and the goblins and demons are, you see. This is his religion. Fourth Shiva's the prime class of the Kali Yuga, the F state economy and religion, which he runs atheism and impersonal religions. You see? Not that he runs it, he's the controller, he's good as gold himself. But everything under him, under the top of the head in here, psychological madness. You know, the Azuras are a fraction in the Vedas again, or another type of demon that rules the system now legally. They're the legal industry. The high-handed celestial demons. So they're only the celestials because they're amongst it, like ruling the economic system. If legal leads with monetary system, basically to keep everybody bound in a false legal law. Another fraction of Azuras are called the two Adanas, I mentioned the Danvarians, who was known as, you see. Then you've got Nagas, who are the serpent, half serpent semi-races. But like, that's pretty much what I'm going to say about this for now. But yeah, the Danvarians are basically pretty much, I believe, are the fairies of Ireland. You see, the two Adana. They were defeated in an earlier skirmish before the Kurukshetra war by Lord Chandra, the presiding Dai of the moon. And the chariot that he used was the one that beat the Danvarians in previous yugas. In the war skirmish they had then amongst the Celestials was the same chariot he gave to Krishna and Arjuna against the Kurus and the Danvarians and all the rest of basically other tribes across the world that sided with them, and they lost eventually. You know what I mean, in the 18-day war in the Kurukshetra. But yeah, that's what to me a fairy is. They're still around you to this very day. It's what you desire in an economic system. Right? Like the desire of the system is one big fairy state of deception. See, rather than a man's world, see, and a woman's world of the new covenant, living like the angels. See, bhakti yoga, that's what you need. Leading on to my next vlog. The world being backed off bhakti. Right, I'll catch you later.